Hello, and a heartfelt welcome to any friends who are joining me for this Yoga for Grief session. Most of the session will be in a lot of quietude, just giving you space to be in your own body, on your own mat, and in your own experience. But I want you to know that you are very welcome here, that there is empathy for you, and that sometimes we need to take a space in a time of grief or loss or both, where we don't need to explain how we are feeling and we can just be. There is a lot of courage in dwelling in your own emotion, and anything that I offer here is just that, an offering. Please do what feels good in your body. Know that you are not alone, and remember that even though we all will go through periods of grief in our lives, we will all experience it a little bit differently. So there is no right or wrong way to feel. There is no particular timeline that you need to pressure yourself with. And that each little moment when you can take a deep breath, move your body a little bit to relieve some of the tension that comes along with grief, is a really meaningful step for you on your own journey. So thank you so much for being here. You don't need to have any props with you, but if you do have a couple of yoga blocks, those might be helpful. And a blanket and a pillow just might be nice, nurturing things to have with you that we can use for little moments along the way. All right. So we're going to start lying down on our backs. And you can have your legs out long, or maybe take your feet out to the edges of the mat and let your knees come into touch. And then I'll invite you to take your hands somewhere onto your body where you're feeling the need for some nurturing energy right now. So maybe on your belly, maybe around the heart space. Maybe soften your gaze, or if you'd like, you could certainly close your eyes. And very gently shift your awareness to your breath here. If it feels possible for you to begin to lengthen and deepen the breath just a little bit, you can go ahead and do that. It's breathing in and out through the nose, but letting your lips be softly closed. Having some relaxation in the jaw. Maybe even letting a little tension drop out of the shoulders and the neck. And take one more round of breath here. And send your arms out into a soft T. And everybody will place our feet at the edges of the mat and drop the knees side to side a few times. And just taking that nice gentle stretch. And then you can bring your legs back to center and see if you'd like to hug your knees into your chest here, wrapping your hands maybe around the shins or the backs of the thighs, and perhaps rocking your whole body side to side here. And sometimes we, in grief, feel a physical sense of heartache. So you can massage the back of the heart space here. Just gently. Good. And then we'll come back to center. And then I'll invite you to roll over onto either side that feels comfortable here. Pause a moment just to get situated. And then gently press yourself up. And we're going to have a seat together on our mats. And so we'll sit cross-legged here. And this is one place that you could certainly sit up on the edge of your blanket or a pillow if you like. So from our seated position, you can sit cross-legged or even with your legs out long if you like, but take your hands to the fronts of your knees. And as you inhale, you're going to reach your chest forward and your shoulders back. And exhale, curl and round. Inhale forward. Exhale back. A few more rounds like this. Times like this are a good time to release the idea of agenda. Just be present in the movement and in the moment as best as you can today. We'll come back into a neutral spine on your inhale. Exhale, can you soften your shoulders down? Good, really nice. And we'll take a little bit of a twist here. So take your right hand behind you like a little kickstand. Take your left hand over to the right knee. Maybe push down a little bit. Take an inhale as you lengthen through your spine. And then an exhale as you twist a little bit to your right. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, twist a little bit more. Right? And can you drop your shoulders back and down a little bit? Maybe even turn your gaze behind you. Big breath in. And as you exhale, unravel the center. We'll take the right hand over to the left knee. Left hand will come behind you as a little kickstand. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale to twist. Good. Inhale, find some length. Exhale to twist. Maybe turning your gaze behind you. One more breath in. And exhale. Release back to center. Great job. Take a little bit of intuitive movement here. Just last couple moments in seated for now. Any way you might want to kind of wiggle things out. It's great. Beautiful. And then we'll come into our tabletop. While you're getting set there, maybe you want to take your blocks out to the edges of the mat, just so we have those in a little bit. But take your hands down and walk them out a few times here. Hands and feet can hold a lot of the tension that tough times tends to bring into our lives. So good to give some love to your own caring, loving hands. Right? And then we'll go ahead and place the hands back down. Take your right leg back, toes curled under, and we're just going to rock forward and back a few times here. and we'll come back into the neutral position. Lift the right leg about parallel with the mat and bring your right foot forward. Now, for these first couple breaths, we're just going to have our hands down, right? So maybe your fingertips or hands are on the mat. Maybe they're on the blocks. I'm going to use my blocks here. And we're really just relaxing down into this lunge. You could always cushion that back knee with a blanket if you like. And we're going to curl the left toes under. Pick that knee up. We'll take a nice inhale here. And then as you exhale, you can straighten your right leg out any amount as you fold forward. And you'll come back into that lunge, bending the front knee. And then you'll straighten the leg and fold forward. And then come back into the lunge here on an inhale. As you exhale, can you step the left foot forward next to the right? And take an inhale, try to get long in the spine, and an exhale to fold over your legs. And press into your feet, lift your arms out and up. And then exhale, cross your hands over your heart center, just letting them drift down and hold close there. Hold loving for a breath in and a breath out. Release your hands down. Step your right leg back, about halfway back on the mat. Reach your arms up. You're going to clasp your right wrist in your left hand here. And then you'll take a nice side bend over to your left. Let me go ahead and show this from the front as well. Breath in, come on back to center. And exhale, release your hands down. Bend this front knee a little bit. Step forward to the top of your mat. Big breath in. Full breath out. And then inhale, please reach both arms up. And exhale, fold forward. And take a halfway lift. And then we're going to come back to our tabletop position. We'll send the left leg back with the toes curled under, and we'll rock a little bit forward and back. All right, and then we'll come into the neutral position. We'll inhale, lift the left leg about parallel with the floor. Exhale, step the left foot forward in between your hands. You've got your blocks there, or your fingertips down. And then we'll curl the right toes under, pick that knee up, take a nice inhale here. And exhale, you can try to straighten your left leg any amount, fold forward. We'll inhale back to the lunge. And we'll exhale to fold. When we come back into your lunge here, take an inhale. Exhale, you'll step the right foot forward. Get nice and long through the spine. Maybe press your hands to the legs so you can really feel that length. And exhale to fold forward. And now we'll reach the arms up. And take your arms back to your sides. This time we're going to step the left foot back, about halfway back on the mat. We'll reach the arms up and clasp the left wrist with the right hand, getting nice and tall, and then side bend, this time over to your right. Then we'll come on back up. Exhale, you can release your arms down. We'll step forward to the top of the mat. And then we're going to take our hands behind us here. Let me turn to show you here. You can interlace your fingers. And from there, see if you can pin your shoulder blades in towards the spine. And that's going to be sort of what we're mostly working on. So that if we've been protective over the heart, which of course is very natural for us to be. We're getting just a little bit of relief there. Now then, if you like, you could straighten the arms out. We're going to separate the feet out a little bit wider than hips width. Take a breath in. And then exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward, bending your knees a lot. So you're laying your torso somewhat onto the legs here. And you can press your hands up towards the ceiling if you like. Maybe just move your neck very gently. Take a breath in and exhale, release your hands down. Drop your hips even a little bit lower and slowly roll your spine up to stand. Shoulders are going to come up, back, and down. Very nice. All right, standing tall at the top of the mat again. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Now we'll lift up halfway. This time, step back for a nice downward facing dog. Now what we're going to do from down dog is completely personal, intuitive movement. Whatever feels good here. And let's come back together for an inhale. And exhale, we'll come down to table together. We'll swing the legs around and have a seat again. And then we'll bring the soles of our feet together here. You can hug them in close to the body. And just move your knees a little bit, flapping like the butterfly wings. Good. And then bringing that into stillness, taking an inhale. And as you exhale, you can shift forward over your legs any amount if you've got a little bit of room to maneuver there. We'll come on back up. And take your hands to the outsides of the legs. Draw the knees in. Wrap your arms around your legs to give yourself a little seated hug here, maybe a little wiggle side to side. And then we'll come and sit together for a couple more moments. Again, you could be cross-legged or with your legs out long in a straddle, really whatever you like. This will be a shoulder stretch. And so you're just going to cross your left arm in front of your body, and you'll take your right forearm and pull that back on the left arm. Try to square your chest forward so you get the most out of this little shoulder stretch. Often here I like to just drop my right ear towards the right shoulder. Just get a little more stretch there into the neck. At the same time, I like to keep my hands spread wide. Big breath in. And exhale, you can gently release the arms, roll your chin to your center, take a little intuitive moment. All right, we're going to go ahead and take the other side. I'm going to switch my mic because it gets all garbly. I try to do it on this side. Super fancy operation we have going on over here. But cross your right forearm in front of you. Left forearm is going to come to press. All right, try to straighten out that front arm if you can and really pull back with the left arm. We'll take a few nice breaths here. And you could always drop your left ear now towards the left shoulder. And we'll breathe in. And we'll breathe out to release. Okay, maybe you want to roll your chin down to center. You can just move a little bit here as we sort of wind down the physical practice for today. And I'm so grateful that you joined me, and truly know that you are thought of wherever you are, whatever you're going through. I wish you moments of comfort in any ways that you can remain open to. I wish you time and space to feel your grief and whatever it is that you need to process. Try to give yourself as much grace as you can and as much time as you can. And remember, though the pressures will try to come in, you're the only one living your own experience. And so I do wish you the smoothest path that is possible with that. But I also send you great empathy for the really bumpy moments. Now we are going to lay down and have a little bit of a rest, not a super long one. I'm going to pull in my blanket and my pillow here because a little extra nurturing and softness doesn't hurt. All right, so we'll lay down with that underneath our backs, or you just lay flat on your back, totally up to you. And you could have your legs out long, or maybe, again, that constructed rest position, feet out wide, knees touching. And we're going to take just a few moments of softness and rest here. You're welcome to close your eyes. Just soften your jaw. And just let your body try to release here for a few more moments. Now you are certainly most welcome to rest longer if you like. I know that sometimes when we're going through grief and difficult things, a little bit of quietude is good. Forcing ourselves to stay in that stillness for too long can be a bit much in acute moments, right? So if you are ready to come on out now, you can maybe stretch or move around a little bit. You could gently curl onto your side. And come on up. Have a seat. Let's bring our hands together and share one more breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, 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 my friends.